Hi everyone, it's Natalie. This is just a quick video on some vocabulary procedures that I have in my classroom to teach vocabulary. Some are school-wide initiatives and some are unique to my own classroom or my grade level. First, I want to talk about a school-wide initiative that we have called Word of the Week. Our literacy coach as well as a team of teachers picked a set of words that kindergarten through 5th graders at my school will learn via the morning announcements and other interactive bulletin boards at the school. In our own classroom, what we do, once we've learned the word of the week on the morning announcements, which, by the way, is also presented in Spanish and with Spanish synonyms, which I think is really cool. After that happens, we discuss the part of speech, noun, verb, adjective, adverb, talk about the definition of the word, and figure out where and when we could use it in conversation. Then we have a tally chart to see when our students or our peers actually use that word. This week, our word is actually compassion. Resilient was the one from last week. We only used it 2 times, but thus far, compassion has already been used 5 different times, which is pretty exciting. Emphasize vocabulary in my room is through a variety of different word walls. This is just one picture of my main word wall in which I put up words that students should know how to spell, know how to use, and also juicy vocabulary, which is the words that we use in stories or different texts that are a little more challenging or more exciting to use in their writing. I differentiate via colors what they should look like on the word wall. That way students know how to tell the difference between words that they should spell right and words that they could use to jazz up their writing. I also have content-based word walls on the opposite side of my room in which I hang up content for math, science, social studies, and writing. Yet another thing I try and do when I preview vocabulary is use the chart that says known, acquainted, unfamiliar. When we preview unknown vocabulary, students can tell me by vote, by discussion, whether they know it, whether they might be acquainted with it, have seen it before, or whether it's unknown. From there, I can tell which ones to pay more attention to in my teaching and which ones students already have a pretty firm grasp on. Finally, the strategy that I use the most to teach vocabulary in my room is actually one that comes a bit later in the year. I call it our Lexicon Challenge, and in it we teach Greek and Latin prefixes, suffixes, and root words. And we teach students how they build on each other and how we use them to build vocabulary or even break apart vocabulary that we might not understand fully. In it, we start by introducing one prefix, suffix, and root of the week. In this example that you see, the weekly parts were un, graph, and less. And what happens is we teach students about them using a Frayer model. Definition, a picture, examples, and a use in a sentence. After that, students kind of go on a hunt to find them throughout the week. They could find them in texts, in the books that they're reading, and every time they find an example of it, they plop it in the vocabulary basket. From there, if we deem that it's an appropriate use of the prefix, suffix, or root, then we add it to our tree. And our tree, our lexicon tree, is full of seeds, which represent prefixes, leaves, which represent roots, and apples, which represent suffixes. And throughout the week, we add to our tree, and our lexicon is growing, our vocabulary is growing as we add these pieces and parts to our tree. Students can add as many examples as they can find, and to add a little more fun into the challenge, we have class-wide competitions amongst the classes in 3rd grade, so we always try and see who finds the most, who has the most creative words, and we add them to a tree in the hallway that's kind of our communal 3rd grade vocabulary lexicon tree.